Hailing frequencies open. Welcome back to Trek Retrek here on Geek the F Out. I'm Captain Johnny.
I'm Ensign Kayla.
And we are here to talk about Season 2, Episode 8 of Star Trek, the original series. I'm Mud.
The original iPod, iPhone, iMac, iPad before those were even a thing.
Yeah, I'm Mud.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if Steve Jobs was a Trek fan. Something to ponder.
I think so.
Probably.
I don't know, maybe. Probably.
I can ask someone I know.
Yes. Kayla's got the hookup.
I was about to say. Yes. If you haven't watched this before, the whole concept of our show is to go episode by episode from the beginning of Star Trek, the original series, talk about them from our two very different perspectives of Johnny has watched everything. I was about to say Motu has watched everything Star Trek, which I realize I'm pointing the wrong way. Yes, that is true. And I have watched nothing except for everything Star Trek up to this point. Everything and yet nothing. And we just, talk about them. So welcome. If this is your first time joining us, make sure to smack that like, smack that subscribe, smack that bell icon. And shall we get into it?
Yes.
Did you do the... Okay.
What? Yeah, TVGuide.com says Kirk and company fall prey to their old nemesis, Harry Mudd, who is now both ruler and captive of an android civilization.
Interesting duality with that one, eh?
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Prisoner King.
All right. Yeah. So we have Bones and Spock talk about Mr. Norman, who's new on board, and Bones finds it odd he doesn't show any emotion and only talks about his job, which he is literally describing Spock. And of course Spock calls that out and he's like, no. It's weird because he's non-Vulcan. The ears make all the difference, as he says. And
yeah, McCoy was like, he felt bad about it, but then also had to get that other dig in.
It's not a jab. Which I was about to put in my notes. I'm like, oh, he cares about Spock and his feelings, and then he jabs him. So I was like, so close, Bones. And I'll leave one of those lines for my favorite lines and moments. And Mr. Norman goes to auxiliary control and changes course of the ship. And meanwhile, while that's happening on the bridge, Sulu tells Kirk of the change of course and tries to correct it, but it can't change it, and they can't change it in auxiliary either. And so then we have the scene where Norman is going to engineering. Up there, Scotty tells Kirk that he's up. And the ship starts to go faster and faster. And Kirk is trying to fix it when Norman comes onto the bridge and says he has complete control of the ship and shows that he has this box of electrical things inside of him and he's an android. He shows his box off. Yep. And he says the ship will be on a course for 4 days before arriving to their destination, but won't tell them where they're going. And then he just shuts himself off. And Kirk is like, well, guess we're going to take a little trip then. Any thoughts on these first scenes?
Yeah, and the dude just stands on the bridge for 4 days.
Yes.
Just standing there right in front of the turbo lift, blocking the way. Uhura almost runs into him. It's just weird. It's weird. The tummy box. I keep calling it the tummy box. On Paramount, it's got this. They remastered it, so it's got this silver part and like blue, like swirly things in it. And the original, it's just like resistors and blinking LEDs. It's real janky compared to like.
Yeah.
And so it's funny to see, because Spock's like, and an advanced android. And it's real funny to see him say that with like these 1970s like resistors and computer chips. It's just funny.
Yeah, how far technology has come, for sure.
Indeed.
For sure. So then we have Norman tells them that Kirk, Spock, Bones, Uhura, Chekhov have to beam down, and so they do. And when they get down there, he says the surface is a K-type, aka it works for humans. So I was like, oh, I'm a type apparently.
Okay.
Come on, it's a little funny.
It's a little funny.
And then women in coral and gold outfits greet them. And Mud is back, baby. Mud is back. Somehow he's the ruler of this planet now. And Kirk tries to communicate with the Enterprise, and the lady instantly crushes it, which I don't know if you noticed this, but I noticed this. The women on each side of Mud in this scene, well, at the beginning of this scene, because there's only two, the one on the left was 66, the one on the right was 99.
Yeah.
You noticed?
Yeah, I did.
Anyway, so there's kind of this funny back and forth with Kirk calling him names, and Mud is like, entrepreneur, like I'm all these other things, like everything Kirk is insulting him about, he's, saying otherwise. And then Mud says that they're gonna be there for the rest of their lives and laughs maniacally. And apparently he's made 500 of the same women, which also, did you notice their sparkly tights?
I did.
Yes, I knew you would like the sparkly tights.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I was transfixed.
Yes, indeed. And they're back and forth talking in this scene. It kind of went on for a little while, and it was funny because, like, sometimes Kirk would be up right next to Mud, and then he would kind of back off. So I was like, this scene is definitely going on a little longer than I think it could have. And Mud tries to explain how he got there after being in custody, which apparently he didn't pay royalties. I was very confused by his story and how he got there, and there was a lot of moving parts. But apparently he would have died for, not paying those royalties. So he broke out of jail and came, essentially got to this planet. And he wanted to, apparently they want to learn more about humans there. So they wanted a prime sample. So which is why he, wanted a starship captain, and tells them that they're going to be taking Mud's spot, which of course they're like, that's not going to work. And then after that, Mud shows this shrine of his wife Stella, and she was deserted, which that was confused, but then that was an android version of her. And I was like, oh, robot. Oh, she's nagging. Oh, great. Like, can we not? So yeah, that's when I was like, oh, okay, they're all androids on this planet. It was starting to click. And I realized that all the women were numbered as well. Mm-hmm. So then the women and Norman show them to their room, and they say they come from Andromeda, and their makers weren't humans apparently, which surprised them. And Mud has given them purpose, and there's a library and labs that they can go look at, which they do. And this is when I noticed Chekhov's hair is different. So I was like, okay, this is definitely his normal hair. And Kirk is also, his hair is kind of messy in this scene. I don't know if you noticed that.
I didn't really notice Kirk's, no, but I did notice, no more wig for Chekhov.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Spock goes to study things. Oh my god, this wind is crazy. And Kirk and Uhura go to the android maker machines. And they say that apparently the bodies last 500,000 years, which of course Uhura is fascinated by that, which I think anyone would be. Mm-hmm. And Kirk calls out Mud for not making male androids. He's like, yeah, I guess maybe they could have some use, but It's like, of course, Mud, you fucking sleazeball. So then Bones and Mud come back after studying the labs, and Scotty comes in shortly after and says that the androids are all on the ship and they're sending the crew to the surface. They've beamed down everyone. So now there's only androids on board the Enterprise. And, you know, of course, Kirk is very upsetty spaghetti with him because of this. And, yeah, once again, we have another planet where they can have everything that they want.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
but they be in captivity. Yep.
Exactly. And we have this scene of Chekhov on the throne, and these two android women are telling him that they've been programmed to be exactly like human females. And Scotty is amazed by the tech. So they're all like very much wrapped up in this world and are starting to think like, hey, this isn't so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And Kirk calls it a gilded cage and tries to kind of shake them out of it. And he asks one of the women about the Enterprise, and she's like, that doesn't compute with me. Which I'm like, of course it doesn't. Mud is preparing to leave in 24 hours. Kirk tries to ask Mud again about the ship, but, you know, nothing happens. And androids tell Mud they will no longer take his orders, say that humans are self-destructive. They'll take the starship and Harry has to stay there. They will serve and control humans, essentially. TLDR, which I was like, good luck with that. And so then Kirk gathers the crew and Mud to figure out how to stop them. They realize they must all share one brain connecting to Norman. So they have to be illogical in front of Norman to confuse him. And they drug Harry to make him sleep as a ruse to get back on the ship. But Uhura reveals their plan because she wants to be immortal. But apparently that was all part of the plan anyways, because they figured the androids would, you know, assume that they're going to do some kind of ruse. And so then Kirk sits on the throne while the rest of the crew, not including Spock, do some weird ass shit. Some weird ass fucking shit. There is dancing, there is slapping, there is jumping around, and then all of a sudden the women androids freeze and just become oblivious to what's going on. And meanwhile, Spock is doing the same in one of the labs with the two of the android women and telling that he loves one and hates the other, and they get confused because they're the same thing, and so they freeze. And then they kind of gather around and go to Norman, asking him to surrender, and Harry makes this speech about being free, and then Bones and Spock add in how they need other things to be, or no, they're like, they're too happy and blah blah, and then Scotty dies. They all do more weird shit, and he's died from happiness, and they all laugh that he dies, and then they pretend to get out an explosive and toss it around, and suddenly Scotty is alive after that. They play catch with the explosive, like Mud sets it and then golfs it and it goes off, and they pretend like it exploded, and then the women shut down. It was a lot of fuckery. So much fuckery.
Lots.
Yeah. Norman starts to malfunction and implodes, and they've paroled Harry to the planet and made his wife number one to annoy him. Well, not just number one, but like his personal assistant, but they've made like 500 of them again to annoy the living shit out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And then also give him a bunch of new women at the same time, which love those sparkly pink dresses at the end. Those were cool looking. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the episode.
Yeah, it's fucking wild.
It's very wild.
Yeah.
All right, what are your thoughts?
I don't know. Like I just don't know. It's Stardate 4513.3. The androids saying they had no word for and did not understand please. That was when Norman was on the bridge, essentially like, please come with me. I took over your ship, locked you out of the controls, but please, like,
yeah,
we don't know.
That was funny.
Yeah, that's it for general thoughts. It's fucking wild. I like someone was high when they wrote this episode.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Drugs were definitely involved.
Yes.
Drugs.
For sure.
Drugs.
All right, well that will bring us to favorite lines and moments.
Indeed, indeed. I feel like most of this episode is the favorite lines and moments, especially just all the fuckery at the end when they're trying to confuse the androids. But there are some that I specifically wrote down, including I think we already mentioned that the ears make all the difference by Bones, and then Spock's he's probably terrified of your beads and rattles.
The one that sticks in my head is when Spock is talking to the two androids. He's like, "I love you, but I hate you," and they're like, "But we're identical." And he's like, "And that's why." And they both shut down, and he goes, "Fascinating." Just the way he said "fascinating" in that instance cracked me up.
It was good.
I actually found a GIF of that particular exchange with like FAAAS. Yeah, I was looking for one earlier, and I found one particularly of that particular. How many times can I say particular?
Take a drink every time you say particular. Yeah. That's funny.
And yeah, then all the batshit insane stuff they were doing near the end to like.
Confuse them.
Logic is a little tweeting bird chirping in a meadow. Is a wreath of pretty flowers that smell bad. Like, what the...
We're like, I'm lying. Everything I'm saying is a lie. Then that means, But Mud's, so I can rejoice in her absence line about Stella. I thought that was funny. Let's see. I have a lot of that's what they said. So I'm trying to find. I know I had a couple other. Oh, maybe I don't. Maybe just because there was so much fuckery, I was just focused on that and not the specific lines of it because there was just so much of it. Yeah, that's it I have specifically.
Yeah, I don't have any other particular ones written down.
Okay.
I know Chekhov's a fucking horn dog in this one.
Oh, that was something I forgot to talk about was doesn't he have a girlfriend? They probably did this in a different production order, I'm guessing.
Possibly. Let me see. This one was the 30. No, this was the 42nd produced. So I think this one actually be
the other one.
That's what I'm gonna try to look for.
Oh, okay.
That was that was the Apple, right?
Yes.
Yes. No, that was 39th produced. So
maybe they broke up.
I mean, allegedly.
Everything is
presumably. Possible. Yeah. She transferred to another ship.
Yeah, and he completely forgot about her.
Oh, there is a line. I forget what it was in reference to, and I forget who even said it now at this point, but it was written down where someone's like, "Oh, I find that shocking." I don't remember who said it.
I don't know. I just rewatched it too, and I don't know. That is shocking.
It's in there somewhere.
I feel like that's something Bones would say.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, and
anyways,
one of the gifts I sent you, and your birthday was from this episode where them doing the dance and everything. Chekhov like doing jumping jacks in the air and like split leg kicks.
Yes.
Yeah. That came from this. But in the gift somebody had photoshopped like birthday party hats on all of them.
Yeah. And of course, I just forgot what I was gonna say.
Like I remember finding the GIF and being like, I don't remember what this is from, to the point where I thought like it might have been a blooper or an outtake or something.
I was gonna say it was just funny that he immediately started doing that after Kirk said to stay still, and then that's when I realized, like, oh, they're doing it on purpose to confuse them. It all made sense.
Indeed.
Indeed.
All right, well,
we do. That's what
that
they said.
will bring us to That's What They Said. Yes.
All right.
I
can't remember.
You start. Yes, you start.
Okay.
You're first. I went first last time.
Okay. I'll trust you. I hope you're all going to enjoy it.
I trust you are enjoying yourself, Mr. Spock.
Do the work yourself for pleasure.
We only wish to make you happy and comfortable.
Is there anything any of you require to please you?
Take care of him.
We seem to be taking an unexpected ride.
I'm so glad you enjoyed it, Doctor.
They're all down now.
You desire something, Lord?
You may have the services of any number of craftsmen.
We prefer to help ourselves.
Is there some significance to this action? Yay!
Yay!
Those are your That's What They Said's for iMud.
iMud. By Apple.
And scene.
Bravissimo. So that will bring us to... Yes, that will bring us to episode trivia from Memory Alpha. Bring it over here. So, yeah. If you thought the episode was wild.
Oh boy. I'm scared.
Clocking in at approximately 5 minutes and 35 seconds, this episode's teaser, they call it a teaser, but really it's the cold open, is the longest in the original series. Using identical twins for each android series aided in the photographic effects budget for the episode. So they didn't have to do like split screen shots with multiple people. With imaginative use of twins and split screens, as many as 6 of one model were shown at once, while 2 of the same model required nothing but an additional costume. This ultimately gave the illusion of a planet of thousands of androids. I don't know if I'd say thousands, like lots of similar models.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's supposed to have 200,000, so maybe that's what they mean.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Oh boy.
This is from Inside Star Trek, The Real Story. While searching for identical twins to play androids, casting director Joseph D'Agsta found 2 young girls, parentheses, apparently prostitutes, walking on Hollywood Boulevard with their pet wild cat. He brought the 2 girls to meet producer Gene L. Kuhn and associate producer Robert H. Justman. While they inspected the girls, Kuhn had to hold the wild cat, parentheses, named Marlin. I don't know why we'd have the name of the cat. Which,
you're like, that's important information.
Which consequently scratched him with its claws and tore his entire shirt. The girls were deemed unsuitable for the role.
You think? maybe because they're just literally, you know how they say in movies and TV shows, oh, they just like plucked them off of the street. That's literally what happened.
Yes, literally what happened in this instance.
I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead.
And what's I wonder, like, was the ASPCA like involved in productions at this time? I feel like they weren't. I feel like the American the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals.
Yes. But is that who's usually on set?
I believe so.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure who it was. I knew it was someone whenever animals were involved. Like little Sebastian.
Oh, when did they stop harming animals in movies? American Humane's. Oh, it's the Humane Society that does. It's the Humane Society that does it. American Humane's first "No Animals Were Harmed" end credit was issued at the end of the movie The Doberman Gang in 1972.
So after this.
Yeah. So yeah, because I was gonna say, what's the thing with wild cats in particular? Shatner wanted to wrestle the tiger.
Oh yeah.
In Shore Leave.
That's true.
These people apparently had a pet wildcat. It doesn't say what kind of wildcat. It could just be like,
I mean, was the cat even a
or they had a bobcat. Not in the episode, but apparently it wrecked Gene Coon's shirt and scratched him.
So you're curious if, like, there was no one there to prevent that. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, why there wasn't.
Although, considering that they grabbed 2 alleged prostitutes and brought them off the street, not that, sex work is work.
Yes.
But, yeah.
That's so funny.
I don't think there would have been anyone, like, there wasn't... I feel like there wasn't a lot of oversight on that casting meeting.
No. I wonder if this is where the saying came from, like they picked someone up from off the street.
Could be. I don't know.
Probably not. That's so funny. So who did they use instead?
I don't know. That is the end of that fun fact.
Yeah, because clearly they just picked a lot of people that looked similar for the like wide angle shots. For the most
apparently, like I went through the cast list too. Like they're all legitimate twins. Like when you see 2 of the androids standing next to each other that are sometimes identical siblings are like you can't tell either of them apart, and sometimes you're like they look closer than most normal siblings do, but they're not 100% identical. They were all twins. Anyway, this episode marks George Takei's last appearance in the series until Return to Tomorrow. During his 9-episode absence, Takei was on the East Coast filming The Green Berets. So there's going to be a lack of Sulu for a little bit because he was off working on another
sad
show.
Day
Or movie. I didn't look up what it was.
I think that's a movie. I could be wrong.
With the exception of those actors who played members of the Enterprise crew, Roger C. Carmel was the only actor to play the same character in more than one episode of the series. That's what Memory Alpha says. And I believe that was in reference to
it's a movie. I just checked.
Okay. I believe that was in reference to the Sal. Was it the Sal in this one? No, that was Cat's Paw. Wait. Oh, no, that's Mud. God damn it. That's fucking Mud. So, yeah, it says that he's the only actor to play the same character in more than one episode of the series. And I added my own little note. Technically, because Menagerie Parts 1 and 2 were 2 separate episodes, and they both had Pike and Commodore Mendez in them. So...
And also, they've had the same actors playing 2 different characters.
Yes, they have had that, but yeah, maybe there should be a caveat that was not a two-parter, because like I said, Pike and Mendez in the Menagerie parts 1 and 2, and the Telosians, and like almost everybody involved in that story. But yeah, and then this is number 3. This episode marks one of 4 times Kirk is able to talk a computer to death. This skill is also used in The Changeling, The Return of the Archons, and one more upcoming episode, with an honorable mention going to What Are Little Girls Made Of, in which Kirk's arguments get Ruck the android so riled up he suicidally attacks Corby. And he also kind of talks Corby to death, too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a theme. It's definitely a theme.
You would think it would be the logical character that...
talking to someone to death.
Talking computers to death. But no, it's just Kirk. So. All right. Well, that will do it for episode trivia. I hope you all enjoyed the Wildcat story.
Those are some great tidbits. Thoroughly entertained.
That will bring us... Yes. Sometimes making this show must have been an experience.
Yeah.
That will bring us to spoilers without context. So you went first for meme, or you went first for that's what they said. So I will go first for spoilers without context. We'll bring mine up on the screen. So I had to use the witch doctor from Diablo, the witch doctor class, because of the Spock's Bones and Rattles line. I assume that's what he was calling McCoy a witch doctor. And then Judo Chop, because Kirk just chopped someone unconscious.
Casual.
Yeah. And then I had to use Nomad and Landru because of the previous computers that were talked to death. So the next one I'll probably do Landru, Nomad, and was it Adam? Was that the other android? The one that there was only one of, and they were like, there's only one of that guy.
Oh, Norman?
Norman, yeah, that's right.
Norman. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was only one of Norman.
Yeah. Yeah. That's going to be good. It's going to turn into my Dune one with all the snakes. Snakes. All the wormies. All the buttholes.
I thought it. I wasn't going to say it.
Johnny is grateful every day for being friends with me.
Those are my spoilers without context. We'll bring Ensign Kayla's up on the screen.
So I had to use Mud from the first time he was on the show, because duh. And then when... Now I'm forgetting who said it, but someone said, "Don't be hasty," and it made me think of Pippin when he's like, "Don't be hasty." Exactly like that. And someone else also said, or it was when they were asking the androids, "Whom do you serve?" Which, famous line in Lord of the Rings, and the Uruk-hai says, "Saruman." And so when I was looking that up, I found this meme and said that Saruman's asking him, "Who's your daddy?" And he says, "Saruman." I had to. I was like, this is such a great version. And it
just makes me think of unrelated from Farscape. There's an episode where
you've been lying to your daddy, boy, and you know you shouldn't lie to your daddy. It's gonna stop. Who's your daddy? Come on, you know who your daddy is. Who's your daddy? Dargo, tell him who his daddy is.
I'm your daddy.
That's right.
Yeah, essentially. And then the robots from iRobot, because of all the androids. So
the iRobots one was a good one. I saw that and I was like, "Fuck, that's so obvious." Like sometimes you get these in like you just don't think stuff. And like the iRobot one, like that's again obvious, but for whatever reason, I just didn't think of it.
The irony of that is I have never seen iRobot.
Wow,
I think I've
really?
seen parts of it. Yeah, I've seen parts of it. I don't know why. I just haven't.
Okay.
Fun fact.
I
There you
feel
go.
like I remember when I watched it, thinking that it's a fine movie. Like it was entertaining, and that's all I asked for. It wasn't a masterpiece of American cinema, but
Not something you want to watch again and again and again.
no, not like The Big Lebowski, Shaun of the Dead. Those are my over and over again movies.
You love The Big Lebowski? What?
You never think it, right?
Shocked. I am shocked. Shooketh.
So that'll bring us to ranking the episode. Ensign Kayla, how do you rank I Mud?
Captain, no notes.
You just like mud.
He's entertaining. You know, even though this was kind of like talking the computer to death like we've seen before, they were androids, so it's a little different, and just the pure fuckery of this episode was great. like if I could just extract that bit, I would, like, that's all I need to give it Captain. Honestly, it's so entertaining. You know, it's like I really like those episodes of Trek, and we've seen it now in Strange New Worlds as well, when people just kind of go a little crazy and out of their normal characters. Like it's fun to see them break out of these norms that we see them as so much. You know, break out of their shell in a sense. So I found that very entertaining. And, you know, overall, I mean, besides the fact that he was talking the computer to death, the fact that it was androids and, like, you know, how they made them and then bringing Mud back. I don't know. There's a lot of other factors that contributed to it, I think. But yeah, overall, I think the entertainment factor is what pushes it to Captain for me, because if you're gonna really watch something, like, you better be fucking entertained by it. So and I don't know if there's too many people that could watch that and not think it was like funny or fun, you know. So there's my ranking.
You know, it's funny, I was trying to find, because I remember reading somewhere, but I can't find it now. Apparently they were considering doing a spin-off show for Harry Mudd. Like,
I'm not surprised.
there was talks.
Surprised.
Oh, there it is. I found it. According to Walter Koenig, NBC considered making a spin-off series detailing the comical adventures of Harry Mudd after the success of this episode. They assigned Roddenberry to develop the idea, but being busy with Star Trek and other projects, he didn't have time for it, and the series was never conceived. So that's kind of a shame.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all.
If he would have, if he would have delegated some of his duties to other people on the production and developed the show, we could have had a Star Trek spinoff for Harry Mudd.
Yeah.
The fuck,
yeah, I mean, I will say Mudd himself is a sleaze bag, of course, but
well, yeah.
Entertaining nonetheless.
Yes.
All right, so what did you rank it?
And I want to I need to look up his name because I can't remember his name again. Where'd it go?
Oh,
I think he's
okay.
being slow. The actor, Roger.
Oh.
The one time I need it to like load quick, it's still in spinning. Roger C. Carmel. He's very good in the role. He's fantastic. I'm gonna give it Captain too. I can't in good conscience give it anything else. Like, I just feel like I can't rank it anything else. It's batshit crazy in the best way.
Yep.
And I ranked Mud's women captain, and that episode was not as good or essential as this one. I don't think so.
Yeah,
this one's
definitely. Captain. I think I gave it captain as well.
Oh, we did both rank it captain.
Unanimous captain.
Unanimous captain for Mud. He does show up in an episode of the animated series. So,
okay.
If you really want to see more about Harcourt Fenton Mud,
what a name! What a name! What a guy!
The animated series episode Mud's Passion.
All right then. Sounds interesting.
Yeah. The next episode is Metamorphosis. While returning to the Enterprise aboard the shuttlecraft, Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and a seriously ill Federation diplomat find themselves kidnapped by an energized cloud.
This sounds familiar. Energized cloud. AKA something you can't really tangibly touch or see, or Anyways, thanks everyone for joining. It has been a blast as always. Let us know what you thought of the episode. If you're in the live chat, thanks for joining in that chat. If you're watching on the replay, thanks for watching the replay. Leave a comment. Let us know what you thought. Let us know what you ranked the episode. Looking forward to next week's episode. That sounds very intriguing. If you want to follow us on any of our social medias, mostly on Instagram, you can follow us at GTFO channel. If you want to email us, our email is channelgtfo@gmail.com. Coming up, besides our usual Trek Retrek, we're kind of doing a break right now since MoTube Madness was a little crazy. But this Saturday we're going to be on Dad at Arms channel doing a Revolution watch along stream, so that'll be a lot of fun, so make sure to check that out. And lots of fun things to come. Trek Retrek every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, as usual. I think that's it. Did I cover everything, Johnny? Did I get it?
I believe you did.
Did I do it right? All right, cool.
Well done.
Peace and long life. Thank you.
Live long and prosper.
Bye.